While James Bond might be the most famous spy franchise in film history, there are several great espionage movies that blow 007 out of the water. A great spy movie must balance a lot of disparate elements to succeed, and the greatest in the genre mix intrigue and suspense with plenty of compelling twists and turns. Though spy movies have changed a lot, many aspects have remained intact. Ian Fleming's James Bond jumped to the big screen in a big way with 1962's Dr. No, and a bona fide spy franchise was born. However, the British super spy's adventures weren't the only source of great stories, and some of the genre's best actually came before 007 debuted. Bond's influence over the genre is still being seen in modern spy stories, but there are plenty of original concepts too. Though few films can rival the Bond franchise for its action, there are spy films with richer plots, more intriguing twists, and even better artistry. Good spy films are rare, but the best are true cinematic gems. Argo, 2012. Ben Affleck in Argo. 2012's Argo gets the jump on the James Bond films for one big reason: it's a true story. The Ben Affleck-directed hit concerns a CIA agent who spearheads a dangerous rescue mission during the 1979-80 Iranian hostage crisis. Argo was a massive financial success, and earned a slew of accolades, including Best Picture at the Oscars. Though the movie is guilty of changing details to add excitement, Argo's plot is more thrilling than any fictional tale. The Bond movies might beat the 2012 gem in terms of action, but the brilliant filmmaking and compelling story make Bond's espionage antics seem somewhat contrived. Realism isn't paramount in the espionage genre, but Argo works because of its plausibility. The Manchurian Candidate, 1962. A man aiming a gun in The Manchurian Candidate. The Cold War was an integral part of the spy genre for decades, and few films captured the paranoid zeitgeist quite like The Manchurian Candidate. A Korean War veteran suffers from bad dreams that lead him to uncover a communist plot to destabilize the United States. The trippy war movie stars Frank Sinatra, who gives a stellar performance. Most espionage and spy films glorify covert operations, but The Manchurian Candidate offers another view. It's shockingly modern for a film made at the tail end of Hollywood's golden age, and was released the same year as Dr. No. Though it lacks the spectacle of a Bond film, it makes up for it with a gripping plot that never relents. The Conversation, 1974. Gene Hackman in a phone booth in The Conversation. Released between his first two Godfather films, Francis Ford Coppola's The Conversation is a movie about spying, and it's absolutely terrifying. Gene Hackman plays a surveillance expert who is hired to spy on a young couple, only for him to suspect they are in danger. Urban paranoia bleeds from the screen, and the thriller is scarier than most horror films. The movie was made during the Watergate scandal, so the issue of surveillance and spying was fresh on the minds of audiences. No James Bond film has come close to matching the mood and suspense of The Conversation, and Coppola's underrated gem has an ending that sticks with the viewer forever. It's only become more prescient in the information age. Pickup on South Street, 1953. Candy is confronted by two men in Pickup on South Street. Director Samuel Fuller rarely played by the rules, therefore his spy classic, Pickup on South Street, was unlike anything else in the genre. It concerns a pickpocket who accidentally steals secrets that were being traded to communist forces from within the US. It has all the trappings of a spy thriller, but is made with Fuller's distinct noir cynicism. Social commentary abounds, and Jean Peters' Candy is a more complex character than the usual femme fatale. The richness of the movie's storytelling goes deeper than any 007 movie ever could, and Fuller's brilliant use of the camera is a language all its own. Pickup on South Street isn't just a classic spy story, it is quintessential noir too. The Spy Who Came In From the Cold, 1965. Richard Burton stands in a doorway in The Spy Who Came In From the Cold. Behind Ian Fleming, John le Carré is the most famous spy author of all time, and his novel The Spy Who Came In From the Cold is an all-time classic. Richard Burton stars as a soon-to-be-retired British spy who goes undercover to rescue some of his fellow operatives. Slow, methodical, and suspenseful, the story is bleak and harrowing. While Bond is bombastic and over-the-top, le Carré's spy story interrogates the nature of espionage and examines the inner workings of its main character. As such, The Spy Who Came In From the Cold is a much deeper cinematic experience, and has a more rewarding payoff than any of 007's biggest globe-trotting adventures. The 39 Steps, 1935. Hannery and Pamela watch something in a theater in The 39 Steps. Alfred Hitchcock revolutionized thrillers throughout his illustrious career, but The 39 Steps is arguably the director's first great masterpiece. A hapless Canadian citizen gets accidentally wrapped up in an international conspiracy while visiting London. The 39 Steps is a classic Hitchcock gem, with its masterful suspense, tongue-in-cheek humor, and blistering pace, the movie established a pattern for Hitchcock, and the accidental spy subgenre was jump-started. The 30 standard is a nice change of pace from Bond, who always seems to be in control. It makes the story all the more thrilling that the hero of the 39 steps is out of his depth and in way over his head. 3 Days of the Condor, 1975. Robert Redford wearing a coat and glasses in 3 Days of the Condor. Spy films took a decidedly darker turn in the 1970s, and 3 Days of the Condor makes James Bond seem naive in comparison. The Sidney Pollack film stars Robert Redford as a CIA codebreaker who finds his entire team assassinated by his own higher-ups. There are plots within plots, and the movie reflects the paranoia of the post-Watergate era. Though it has grit, 3 Days of the Condor is a slick movie, complete with Pollack's signature visual touches. Redford is perfectly cast as the helpless agent who learns to become violent. No James Bond movie has ever been able to capture as many themes as 3 Days of the Condor, and they seem hollow compared to the 70s classic. The Bourne Ultimatum, 2007. Jason Bourne, Matt Damon, looks concerned in The Bourne Ultimatum. The Jason Bourne franchise is the only spy series that has come close to matching James Bond in action and adventure, but The Bourne Ultimatum has a little bit more too. The third film in the Bourne series, the story follows the ex-assassin as he continues to regain his memory and get revenge against the Black Ops community. Robert Ludlum's novel serves as the perfect framework for an exciting action story, and The Bourne Ultimatum has the same light espionage elements as Bond. However, Paul Greengrass' direction elevates the film above any Bond installment, and the thrilling plot is expertly laid out across 2 hours. It has the Bond thrills, but is just a tad smarter. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, 2011. George Smiley in a meeting room in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. The spy genre had faded by the 2010s, but Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy kept it alive. The beloved John le Carre story is headlined by Gary Oldman, who plays a retired spy who returns to duty to catch double agents within MI6. Set during the 1970s, the modern film feels classic, and captures the mood of the Cold War era.